Today, my friends, we're making a new scrappy block out of 2.5-inch strips that is going to come out the same size as we did our previous block tutorial. So this is going to be some very exciting. We found enough strips to use to create 5 different fabrics that go into this, and I'm going to show you how out of strips you can create this beautiful block. I'm so excited. Grab your coffee, grab your tea. Let's sit down and make this beautiful block today. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Where Wendy Creates. Today we have 5 12-inch strips of 2.5-inch strips. You can get these out of your scraps, so we can make a scrappy block now. You just have to find the same width of 5 different fabrics, and let's bring them over to the sewing machine. And we're taking our strips and just sewing them across at a 1/4-inch seams. Taking our next 2 and sewing them across using our 1/4-inch seams. And then we're going to take our 2 strips of 2 and put them together in the order that we wanted them. And I think we had them something like this. That looks good to me. We'll put the gray on in just a moment. And this is just one sample of what you can do if you have strips. Now, it is important that if you're using a different size strip instead of the strips that we have here, you make sure that the final length on them is going to be the same width of them. So you can do them, then we're going to put our square measure on and trim them off. Take this one out and add our last piece and decide where we want to go. I think I want it on this end, so we're going to go ahead and put it on this end. I can already see that our 12-inch piece, we're going to have some cut off to use in another scrappy location because it's going to be 5 2.5-inch strips is going to come out where? Somewhere around 10 1/4? No, I'm not doing my math. We'll sit down and do our math in a moment. All right, so let's go ahead and run over to our ironing board. We're going to press this out. Then we'll go to our cutting board. And we're turning on our iron on the hottest cotton setting, and we have a little bit of water in there. I like to work with steam because that just makes quick work out of pressing. And we've got our pieces laying out here, and let's go ahead and see if that iron has heated up enough. And I'm just going to press all of my seams one direction to make it easier for me at this point. Okay, and we have pressed our block. And it is looking beautiful and smooth. And we're back over at our cutting table, and we're going to go ahead and measure our distance, which again, 2.5 inches should come out. Mine came out to 10 inches. And we've trimmed up our block 10.5 excuse me, 10 1/4 by 10 1/4. So we're all lined up there. And now we can take our finished block and use it as is in a quilt. So you have one idea of a strip quilt. Or if you take this, and let's get the longer ruler. Again, like I mentioned before, I like to work with the 6" by 24" ruler. It gives me a lot of flexibility of different things that I can do. And we can take this quilt and we can just chop it from one corner to the other corner. So let's do that. I should have put a weight on it, but now we see that we're in two separate pieces. So this quilt can be flipped around and used as triangles, or we can take it, put it back together, and we're going to take this 2.5" strip piece by 5 pieces, lay it perfectly flat, put it one corner to the opposite corner, and we're going to take this block, we're going to cut it right down the center, and now we are going to take these pieces here that you see, and we're going to flip them around so that we can put them into a completely different shape. So you also have this. I put them right back together. So we're going to flip these around and put them into a new shape. And now, instead of doing what I'm doing, which is a perfect corner piece that doesn't make sense, we are going to turn these around to where they're pointed out. Now we're going to take our block and we're going to swap around the pieces and try to make a little rhyme or reason, giving you different ideas for the block. So this is one we can do. And now we're going to turn it to where the points are all out and show you what that looks like. And have fun with it, my friends. So we can take them, we can make 2 separate blocks out of them. Point is, my friends, you can have a lot of fun just with strips, taking them apart and putting them back together. So let me see if I can grab 5 more 2.5" strips that are the same or similar colors, and we will finish off this block. What do you think? Okay, and the black is going to go right next to the white. So we're taking our piece of black next to the white, and we're making our strips. Back up our first part, we're going to put our 2 lighter grays next to our orange. Then we'll have our 5 strips together. We'll go press them, trim them, and make more of our strippy blocks, cut them up, and see how we can put them back together. So how exciting is that? And we want this one by here. So we're putting the lighter by the orange of our 2 grays. strip blocks, my friends. Easy strip blocks. And we are using fabric left over from other projects. Some of this fabric is the same. It's all the same weight, the same heaviness, the same quality of quilter's cotton. But some of it actually came from previous quilts, the back of the quilt that was left over that we didn't need for another back of a quilt. All right, and off to the ironing board we go. And we've got steam in our iron, and I'm going to make all of the seams go to one side just because it's easier. And we know the 2 blocks that we can make out of just one block of 2.5 inch strips, 5 strips, and they need to be 10.5, 10 3/4 long, so you can trim them down to 10 1/4. Unless you're precise, then 10 1/4 is perfect, my friends. And we're going to move them out of the way and take this beautiful new strip that we've made, and we're going to cut it into 10 1/4 inch blocks. And the first thing I want to do is trim off one edge to have it perfectly straight. And then I'm going to take the ruler and take it where it has the 1 and the 1 and 1, and see what we have for our 10 1/4 inch blocks. And we just want to line this up and make sure we are 10 1/4. And we're going to trim this and see how many blocks we could get out of our 2.5 inch strips. Okay, so we have our 1 block. And move our lines over, make sure everything is lined up smoothly. And it looks like this one needs a little trim on 2 sides. And that happens if your 1/4 inch seams are not straight, or your blocks are not 10 1/4 to start with evenly. Okay, so we're going to trim that down to 10 1/4. And this one doesn't come quite up to 10 1/4, I can tell already. This one is coming in right around 9 1/2. So we'll get rid of that for our scrappy quilt. And we can take our 2 blocks here, and we're going to cut them the same that we cut them before. And we're going to go corner to corner. We can use a weight to help hold it down as we slice. And when we slice, we always want to make sure our hands are back away from the edge. And then we're going to turn the ruler the opposite direction. We're going to sit it down corner to corner, put our weight on, go across, and then we have our 4 pieces. So once we have our 4 pieces, we can go ahead and, oopsie, looks like I didn't trim that all the way off. Be very careful. Okay, and now we can take our blocks and put them into our previous arrangement. Look, I got to press that again. And here, that, and we have the littler pieces going towards the insides, and these on the outsides. And out of our 4 pieces, sorry, I got my scraps mixed in there. Out of our 2 blocks, we are making 4 blocks and a completely new pattern. What do you think? I'm loving it. And I do want to point out that our new block is the same size as the block we made last week. So I'm very, very excited. We're looking at the same colors, we're looking at the same size, and we're looking at fun. So excited. Yay! Hit that subscribe button, hit that comment button. I want to know your thoughts, and I'd love a thumbs up. Give me a like, my friends. See you real soon back here at Where Wendy Creates.